Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new video here, and today we're going to be looking at all the decks that made day 2 at the Toronto Regional Championships, breaking down all the decks that did well, looking at the meta in this format. The results were honestly kind of interesting, I'm not going to lie, and hopefully there was some cool stuff that made day 2. Haven't seen it all yet, so this is going to be a first look for me, and I'm excited to see what everyone played at the tournament and just kind of see what decks did well overall. Because really, I only knew the top 8. I didn't really get a good look at what was in like the top 16 and stuff. If y'all are new here too, my second channel, why not subscribe down below? We're on the road to 27k subs, and I'll leave a link to Limitless down below if you want to check out any of the decks for yourself from Toronto. Toronto was a very big tournament, 2,200 players in it. A lot of people from around the world. As you can see, there is multiple different countries in the top 8. Actually, a pretty diverse top 8. I mean, pretty crazy stuff. I'm super excited to break it all down and look at the decks. So we did see Giovanni Sasso winning the tournament with the Jelly Guardy deck. Not surprised to see Guardy Jelly win. I mean, who could have predicted Gardevoir won a regional? Oh my god. But Giovanni was playing the Watchtower. That's like the one big thing about his list. He played the Watchtower for the Charizard matchup, and I'm sure it did come up in that matchup. He did hit Raging Bolt in the finals. So, again, another matchup where the Watchtower is pretty good. But yeah, Guardy Jelly, pretty good stuff. Good deck. Yeah, item lock's good. Obviously good against Dengo. We did see Andres here making it to the finals with the Raging Bolt, something that I did not expect to happen. I kept calling Raging Bolt a bad deck in this format. But no, I mean, Andres showed that, no, Raging Bolt's pretty good. I mean, it does have a good Dengo matchup. I will give it that. This deck, it does beat Goldengo. Its pulled matchup, I don't think it's bad either, depending on how you play it. Obviously, the big issue with the deck is Gardevoir and Watchtower, but Andre still made it to the finals. Really cool stuff. His list was playing the Wellspring Ogerpon and the Sandy Shocks, so he had a lot of things in here to help him out. The Wellspring obviously being the big one where you can kind of play like a pseudo Terra Box deck with Wellspring and Teal Mask. You can play into Torrential Pump to knock out Pokemon. Obviously, it initiates a really easy 2-2-2 prize race when you also have Raging Bolt in the deck with Bellowing Thunder. And of course, we had a couple pults in the top 4. Pulled had a really good weekend. I'm not surprised to see that happen because of how much Charizard there was. And we did see one here played by Karis Jones with the Moltres in there to help against Goldengo. There's no Defiance Band or Bangle. If you can kill the Genesect with the Moltres, you can kill the Goldengo with a Dusclops Moltres. Or you can Phantom Dive the Goldengo and then KO it later on with Moltres, which is pretty good. I honestly think this is probably the best Dragapult list going forward. Just the Moltres just really makes a big difference in the Dengo matchup. And that matchup obviously is just not very favored for Dragapult. We saw one Canadian in top 8, which honestly is kind of crazy. We see Jack Wong in top 8 with Dragapult Dusknoir. I knew he was playing this because I played against him last week at my local tournament with my Slowzard deck. He had the Maractus in there, not playing Turo, but he has the Maractus, which is good against Goldengo. You can trap the Lunatone. If they Turo it, then they attack into the Maractus. They take a bunch of damage from exploding needles, and then you Phantom Dive for the knockout, which is cool. So, yeah, good Dragapult 60. The Maractus isn't bad either. I mean, honestly, both pulls in top 4 are like pretty good list to go off of. Like, you can play the Moltres, you can play the Maractus. Both of them do serve a purpose versus Goldengo, which is not going anywhere. Brent Thomason got top 8 with Guardy Jelly. His build was pretty standard. He had a research in there. And he did play the 3 Candy No TM Evo build of the deck. And then we did have another pull in there in top 8 with Brock Scouting in there for some support. And then we had another pull in there in top 8. Just kind of had a research in there with the lilies and stuff played by Katie here, which is actually really cool to see that happen. So shout out to Katie for getting top 8. That was awesome. Actually, 2 girls in top 8 is honestly pretty sick. Love it. Anyways, we got Justin Templar, the one Goldengo, making top 8, which is honestly kind of surprising. A lot of people were playing Dengo this weekend. I mean, obviously the deck had a huge Charizard on its back. Everyone teched for it. Everyone, I'm sure, was ready for the matchup. Only one in top 8, though, was a little shocking. This build does have a few interesting things in it. One, it's not playing the Lopunny, which everyone was kind of sold on for this tournament. I still think Lopunny's still the best Mega to play in the deck, but this one had the Mawile in it. And then also played a Bravery Charm, which, I mean, is actually a cool idea. It's really good in the mirror match because you can protect your Solrock from Cramorant. You can also put on your Gimmighoul, or you can Bravery Charm your Mawile, which I guess can come up to. You can even Bravery Charm Fez. Honestly, this isn't even a bad card. I've considered Bravery Charm and Goldengo before, like even before the rocks came out, I thought of Bravery Charm in the deck, but it's a really good idea. It can protect your Pokemon from Phantom Dives and all kinds of crazy plays. Yeah, the Charm also good against Devo. You can charm your Goldengo so it can get Devoed as easily because it has more HP underneath, One Grim did make it to ASIM. I think Grim is honestly a good deck for this weekend. It's got a good Zard matchup. I don't think your Guardy or Pult matchup is bad either if you play it well. This build is pretty standard. There was a Tasu in there. There was a heavy, actually, I say standard. There's a heavy count of Frostlass. A 3/3 line really is trying to set up Frostlass, which makes sense. I think Frostlass is too good in this deck for this weekend, just to help against Dengo. Another Pultnor here. I mean, Pultnor had a very good weekend. There's a lot of Dragapult Dusknoir that did well in this tournament. We had Guardy here, played by Henry Chow, losing at the win-in in top 8 to Pultnor, which is a big deal because obviously Henry Chow is like the Gardevoir GOAT, but he lost the win-in. Played his Turbo Guardy deck with the Luxcape Screamtail, the Frillish, no Jelly, no Drifloon, no Mega Diancie either, just kind of went straightforward with the list. Another Grim in top 16, also with the 3/3 line of Frostlass. So that was just kind of the way to go with Grim this weekend, just play a very thick line of Frostlass. Flareon, played by Emma Hagen, also made top 16, so that's cool. It's cool to see a lot of females doing well this tournament, and obviously the Pidgeot Flareon deck that she's piloting continue to do well. Good stuff. I mean, it might just be like not the same 60, but it's close to what she's been on. And a bunch of Guardies here in top 16. We got one of them with the Frillish Screamtail Luxcape. We got another one here with the Frillish Screamtail Luxcape, and then we had another one here with the Frillish Screamtail Luxcape, but also played Budu, which is interesting. There's more item lock in that deck. So the highest placing Charizard was 17th place, not making top 16. It was Donzard with the Pidgeotto in there. Donzard's pretty good. It was a good deck for this weekend. I think it was fine. A lot of people were playing it. It was the most popular version of Charizard. Then we had Liam with the highest placing Zoroark deck. Not surprised. Liam obviously is a pioneer of Zoroark EX. He did play the deck with the 2/2 Toedscruel. This is basically the build that has been getting hyped for a while now. Yeah. It's the Liam build that everyone was talking about for this tournament. With the double Toedscruel, the thick TM Evo, the heavy Lily. That's basically what was being talked about. And Liam did have a very good run. A lot of people made day 2 with that 60. So, and a couple more Donzards here. This one had the Wellspring in it. Actually also played Psyduck and Monkey Dory. So a little bit more teched out. I don't hate the idea of Monkey Dory and Donzard. It's just a little hard to set up. The Wellspring, though, is a big deal because there's a lot of talk about Wellspring for this tournament in Donzard. We got another Donzard here with Black Belt in the deck, actually. Interesting. We did see a Mega Box making top 32. I'm surprised to see that. I think this deck definitely is still like good in this format. Just the Dengo matchup is tricky. This one did have some cool tech cards. It was playing Luxcape and Genesect and Erica. So Erica's cool. You can make a lot of plays happen with that, I guess, next to Absol. Kangboof also did make top 32. This one was a different take, though. It had double Moltres in the deck to help against Gholdengo, which does make sense. I mean, the Moltres, I'm sure, does pull its weight against Dengo. Is it better than playing Cornerstone, though, is the question. I don't know. But the Moltres is really cool to see. It just makes your Dengo matchup a lot easier. I'm not surprised to see 2 Moltres in the top 32 here as like a tech card. I think even some of the Charizard lists we'll see also played it. Another Guardy here with the Drifloon, the Mega Diancie, the Bravery Charm. A couple more Donzards here. Take a look at these real quick. Pidgeotto and stuff. Makani with the Guardy Screamtail Luxcape deck. He's been playing a lot. And we had another Guardy Jelly played by Cal Connor, who did win Toronto last year. So made top 32 once again. So still cashed this tournament, which is cool to see. And then Riley McKay playing Guardy also was on the Luxcape Frillish Screamtail build. And Daichi was in the tournament with his Mega Box deck. Played it with the Toedscruel in the deck to tech for the Gholdengo matchup. This is probably how I would have played Mega Box if I was to play the deck this tournament. I probably just ran the Toedscruel also. I saw a lot of people playing Moltres, which I think is decent. I think Toedscruel does have a little bit better value in the deck. It actually is good into Guardy because you can use Absol with Toedscruel and like stop them from getting Pokemon back. It's actually kind of decent. And we have a bunch of Pultnors here. I mean, we'll just quickly go through these real quick. I mean, Pultnor, a lot of the 60s look the same. We'll see if anything crazy comes up. There's another Guardy with the Screamtail Luxcape. So it looks like we did see Guardy Jelly win the whole tournament, but the Screamtail Luxcape was the most popular build of it in like the highest parts of the tournament, the top 32. So that does make sense. And this is a little interesting. A bunch of Pultnors here. Just pretty good deck. Yeah, Pultnor's pretty good. So it's a pretty good deck. We see a lot of them doing well. Pultnor had an insanely good tournament, which is crazy to see. And we had a Pultzard in top 64. This is my backup deck I would have played at the tournament. This one had the double Watchtower, the Unfair Stamp, the 3/2/2 Charizard line. I like it. It's a pretty good 60. Yeah, I like it. Pultzard making cash. Actually, it didn't make cash. It almost made cash, but I still like this deck. This was my secondary pick for the tournament. It was decently well positioned. Another Pultnor here. Yeah, just a great weekend for Dragapult. We had Raymond Long on the Guardy, a Lux Cape Screamtail build with no Mew, which is like the big exclusion was no Mew in the deck, which is interesting. It's a big omission, obviously, for sure. Ian Robb was on Guardy Jelly with the Watchtower. So a lot of the Guardy Jellies were on Watchtower this weekend. We had Lucas Zing playing Charizard Pidgeot with Moltres. I think he was the same 60 as Jackson, if I remember correctly. Jackson did not make day 2, but I'm pretty sure they were playing the same list. They might have been one card off, but Lucas playing at Charizard, Dusknoir, Pidgeot, the classic version of the deck with the Klefki, had the Moltres and the Chi-Yu. I did see this in Jackson's updated build he posted. Yeah, it makes sense why the Moltres is in here. I think it just makes your Goldengo matchup better because you have Moltres and Chi-Yu in the deck, plus the Max Belt. So it's like, Goldengo seems like a really good matchup, right? If you don't get run over, obviously. So it makes sense. And the Moltres Chi-Yu actually goes pretty well into, like, the Cornerstone stuff, instead of having to play Lopunny. Like, I wish I played Moltres this weekend. We had another Zoro here with the double Toadstool. And then we had Jesse Parker doing pretty good with Miraidon. I think he lost the Winning. He was on stream at one point. He might have lost the Winning, I think. But he was playing Turbo Miraidon with the Magneton. Yeah, I mean, Jesse, obviously one of the biggest pioneers of Miraidon. It's cool to see him do well with the deck. Potentially one last time before rotation. Will Miraidon still be playable in the Ascended Heroes meta? Probably. I mean, Zoark is popular, which might be a little scary. But yeah, it's cool to see him do well with the Miraidon, Magneton, Iron Hands deck. Still playing the generators and stuff. We got another Donzard here. We got more Guardy with the Lux Cape Screamtail. Just a lot of that this tournament. And then more Poltnors. Just a lot of Poltnors. Not surprised to see that. We had Guardy once again with Lux Cape Screamtail. A lot of that. And we had some more Zards here. Donzards. This one, interestingly enough, had Clefairy and Wellspring in there. So it's trying to be a little more of a Terra Box type deck. Another Guardy. Another Donzard, pretty classic build. And then we had another Mega Box here played by Julian. Playing with the Moltres. The Moltres is really good because it's good against Dengo. It's kind of the thing with Mega Box. You have to have some kind of answer to Goldengo. And it seems like Moltres or Toadstool is best options. Another Guardy. Another Raging Bolt doing good, played by Yurko. Another player who likes to play a lot of Raging Bolt. Playing actually the same list as Andres there with the Wellspring and stuff. With Sarah Ledge played by Ross Cawthon doing good. Honestly, like, Sarah Ledge wasn't even, like, the worst deck for this tournament. I don't think the deck was, like, amazing, but, like, it does beat Goldengo sometimes. So it makes sense. I mean, it's cool to see Ross actually have a good result with the deck. I mean, Ross has been playing Sarah Ledge for a bit now, right? More Guardy Jelly here. Another Charizard Pidgeot deck. This one was the Slowzard build, which had a lot going on. Actually, had a lot of stage 1s. We had the Charizards, the Pidgeots, actually a very thick line of Pidgey for Call for Family, and played the Toadstool as a 2-1 line, and had the Lopunny, and had a Golduck in the deck. Holy moly. Well, I didn't play Monkey Dory, but it really was, like, teched out. That's crazy. I don't hate the idea of Golduck. I consider Golduck, too, but it's like, I think Psyduck is just better. You can loop it a bit more easy. It's just better into Klefki. It's really crazy, actually. It's a crazy Charizard list. Played Dawn and Lily, no Arvid, no Teamivo. Yeah, it's a cool list. Charizard, pretty good deck. I like it. And then we had more Dengo. So actually kind of crazy to see that. We had one Charizard here, 57th place, scrolling all the way up. There was not a single Goldengo until Justin in top 8. Holy crap. I mean, Dengo, like, I think the deck was good enough to do well. I'm honestly surprised there was only one Dengo outside of, like, top 8. That's crazy. That's a pretty big drop-off for the deck in day 2, not going to lie. And the deck's pretty good. I guess every deck we looked at above it, like, beats it probably, right? Like, makes sense. Or they had answers to it. And yeah, the second highest Dengo did have the Lopunny in there, the Cram and the Lana, so pretty teched over the mirror. Another Dengo with the Mega Mawile in the Secret Box. More Poltnor. A couple more Dengos here in top 32 with the Lopunny, Precious Trolley build, and another one with just Cram and Monkey. I do like Monkey and Dengo. That's something that I maybe would have considered in Dengo. Would have been the Monkey, because Monkey is really good against Dragapult and Guardy. It's good against the Frillish Shuffle thing. And we got another Poltnor here. More Dengo with the Lopunny. There's a lot of Dengos in, like, the top 64. Yeah. More Poltnor. I think I already looked at all those, actually. And we got Marcos Fuentes playing the Mega Box deck. His build's interesting. He had Sandy Shocks and Sudowoodo. So you lose Sudowoodo for the Retreat Lock. Sandy Shocks gives you a good backup attacker against other Kangaskhan decks, I think. So it does make sense in this build. So it's a cool list. He has Watchtower in there, too. The 2 Absols. It's cool stuff for sure. All right, we have more Guardy here. Obviously, Gardevoir's had a good weekend with the Lux Cape Screamtail stuff. A lot of that. We got another Dengo Rocks with the Cram and no Mega. Ooh, that one had, wait, what? That had 4 Watchtowers. Holy crap. They really did not want to lose to Charizard. It's pretty crazy. 4 Watchtowers is insane. Another Dragapult. Then we had a control in day 2. That's pretty cool. So the Turtonator, Kang, Milotic, Golduck, and stuff. I mean, control's not bad. In this meta, like, it can work. It's a very centralized format, I feel like, right? So, makes sense. We got another Pultnor. Another Dengo, but this one was playing the Revavroom Secret Box Rotom build. Now, does this build beat Mirror? I don't know. Because, like, the Mirror does seem a little tricky because you can't one-shot their Soul Rocks, but it is cool to see this kind of more, like, not classic approach, but different approach to Gholdengo in day 2. It actually did decent, right? 72nd place isn't bad at all. It's cool. Another Guardy Jelly. Another Charizard here. This one was the Dusknoir build with Max Bell Klefki. And we had a Crustle in day 2. Just straight Crustle, nothing else. No Cornerstone, no monkeys, nothing. Just straightforward Crustle with the Forest in there. The Poke Vital A, Jumbo Ice Cream, crazy stuff. We got another Dengo Rocks with the Lopunny and the Cram. We got Donzard here. A couple more Gardevoirs. Take a look at those. One with Drifloon and one with the Screamtail. And we got another Dengo with the Lopunny. More Donzard. This one's got the Shempao. But people are teching Shempao this weekend just because of Watchtower, right? You play this down, you go to Watchtower. You can, like, Dawn for it and stuff, so wasn't bad at all to have. Another Guardy Jelly here. Another Mega Box with the Moltres. Honestly, more Mega Box than I expected to see, which is crazy. And then we did Rahul have a decent run with the Terra Box deck. The only Terra, I mean, Flareon, I guess, was above it. But it was cool to see Rahul have a good run with Terra Box in the tournament. And Terra Box is like a fine deck, right? Nothing too crazy in Rahul's list here. It's got the bundle in there and stuff. Another Guardy there. More Dengo Rocks. Another Pultnor with the Moltres. This one also had the Moltres in it. Another Dengo Rocks, a Lopunny. And another Pultnor. Another Guardy with the Screamtail Lux Cape. And then we had a couple more Donzards here. Anything crazy in this one? Nope. Just more standard builds. Okay. Another Gardevoir. And then we had another Zoroark here. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's a Toedscruel build. I think every time we're going to see a Zoroark deck in day 2, it's probably going to be this, like, Toedscruel Lopunny build that Liam was popularizing for a bit. Another Charizard Pidgeot played by Grant Manley. They were... Looks like this was the... Yeah, Slowzard. So this might have been what Azul's group was playing. I'm not sure. I know Azul was playing Slowzard, but I don't know if this is the build they had. This one's interesting. You see, they is playing the Moltres. Does have the Monkey. Also is playing Max Belt and Briar, which are very interesting inclusions. I don't hate this build. There's one Iono, though. Only one hand disruption card is a little sus, but I don't hate it. No Genergy either, I guess, but I don't hate this list. It's a cool build of Slowzard. Another Dengo with the Lopunny. Another Gardevoir, and then we had another Charizard. This is Azul. Let's see what Azul is playing. Okay, so it was Slowzard. He wasn't playing the Moltres and the Max Belt. He's playing Unfair Stamp. Got the Chew in there. The 2-1-2 Pidgeot line is interesting. It's a bit of a thinner line of Pidgeot. Did have the Briar in the deck, though. So, yeah, maybe Briar was worth playing this weekend in Slowzard. Had the Energy Search in there. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, Slowzard's a good deck. Obviously, he wasn't playing the Lopunny or anything. No Toedscruel. No Max Belt. But, yeah, Slowzard's a pretty good deck. I like it. And below that, we had a Pulsard with the Psyduck, the Watchtower. Another Gardevoir with the Drifloon. Another Grim with the Toedscruel, the Frostlass. So it kind of had everything in there to help check in Dengo, I guess. Makes sense. And we had another Gardevoir with the Jelly. And then we had another Charizard Pidgeot deck with Max Belt and Chew and Moltres. So yeah, this might... I don't know. Is this better than Slowzard going into the next format? I don't know. Maybe. It does gain Mega Charizard Y. We had a Django in day 2. I mean, not surprising. Django's still, like, not a bad deck. Is it better than Dengo Rocks? I don't really think so. I think Dengo Rocks has a little bit more board control, but Joltik Toolbox is a good deck still. Like, I didn't think Joltik Box was a bad deck for this tournament. This is the first Joltik deck we've seen so far, though. We did see the Miraidon deck that Jesse played, though. More Pultnor, more Gardevoir here. Another Mega Box with the Sandy Shock Sudowoodo, same one we saw earlier. And then we got another Noctowl Flareon deck with the Pidgeot and whatnot. A couple more Grimmsnarls here. A lot more Grimm in day 2 than I expected, which I didn't think the deck was going to be that popular. This one does have double Punk Helmet. I don't hate that. Double Punk Helmet actually might not be too bad against Gholdengo, actually. And here's a Joltik box. So there was one Joltik box, at least in the day 2, that was in Django. With a Magneton in there. Cool stuff. Another Pultnor. And then we got my boy Jason. Shout out Jason for playing my Pulsar list that I sent him. He's been playing the deck for a bit, and I sent him this Pulsar list. I'm like, yo, play this deck, bro, to Toronto. This is my backup pick. This is probably the 60 I would have played at Toronto if I went. and wanted to play Pulsar, not Slowzard, right? So I ended up playing the Slowzard deck, but this was my backup pick. It was definitely going to be Pulsar because Pulsar, I think, was a well-positioned deck for this tournament. And my boy Jason, I think, got his first day 2 with this deck, so shout out to him. He wanted me to give him a shout out here in the video. Yeah, then we got a Frost Monkey Dory deck in day 2 with double Tinglu. So it's kind of like the one prizer build of the deck. It does have Blood Moon Latias, but there's no like anything crazy in the deck. Obviously, no Grim or anything. So that's cool to see. Another Pulsar here. Below that, we got another Charizard Pidgeot deck with the Klefki. It's played by Mike Ellis, actually, from the UK, one of the commentators. That's cool. I'm surprised he wasn't playing Grimmsnarl. Then we got another Pulsar. Then we got Kang Bouffalant. So, honestly, Mega Box did better than Kangaskhan Bouffalant. Nah, I'm a little surprised to see that. I thought Kang Boof was just a better positioned deck for this weekend, but it did underperform, which is interesting. I think this deck is still good, and maybe we just have to kind of make more innovations to the deck as the meta evolves. I think this deck is honestly still decent, but it did underperform. Mega Box had a better weekend than Kang Boof. And then we had more Gold Dengos here with the bunny and stuff. Another Donzard playing the Wellspring in there. Another one. And then we had, what was that, a Terror Box in between it? There's a Terror Box with the Evolution package, which I like. I think that was like maybe the better way to play Terror Box. I don't know. I'm not a Terror Box person, but it's cool to see the EVs still having a good run in this format. Morgardi. Another Raging Bolt here was the Rocks build played by Emily. So another person who's a commentator doing well in this tournament. It was cool to see the Owlless Raging Bolt deck. Another Donzard here. Nothing crazy there. And we got another Mega Box. The Okie Dokie. Oh, that's interesting. An Okie Dokie in the deck's cool. Nice little one prize attacker. We got an Alakazam with the Togus doing well. I mean, Alakazam's okay. Not a bad deck, right? It's probably the best one prizer deck to play right now, and there was at least so far one in day 2. And below that, we have a Garchomp. Actually, a lot of rogue decks here. What the heck? We had Garchomp. Garchomp's not bad. Toadcruel is a good card this weekend, and, you know, Garchomp is one of the better decks that can utilize it. That's cool to see. And then we had another Kang Boof below that with the Crustle. And we had a Festival Lead in day 2. Look at that. It was the Festival Lead. This one was different than the build we've been playing. With no Lopunny, it was playing a very heavy line of Dipplin too. Crazy. And another Sarah Ledge here, doing well. And then a bunch of Poltnorse. One with Moltres. One with Moltres. Yeah, Moltres might, honestly, just might be the standard now in Poltnor. I'm not going to lie. Moltres seems pretty good. Another Dengo. Another Donzard. And then we had a Slowking in day 2. Ooh, oh, whoa, with the armor. What does this do? Scarlet Energy, 180 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. I guess it snipes the liabilities. That's cool to see. Double Kang, too. I like the idea of Double Kang. Actually, you know what? I just realized this build does not play any Xatu. There's not any... It relies on Wonder Patch's Energy Excel. That's cool. I mean, it did well. Did pretty good. Got day 2. Pretty cool stuff. Another Donzard. Let's see. More Dengo Rocks. Below that, we'll get to a point where we'll stop looking at all the decks because, like, yeah, I'm sure it's gonna get a little tiring. Because it's the same stuff. We got Vince Kelly here playing Jelly Guardian of the tournament with the Watchtower. Dengo Rocks again, Lopunny, another Guardy Jelly, and then another Dengo Rocks. Below that, we had another Raging Bolt. So honestly, not a bad weekend for Raging Bolt. Did better than I would have expected it to do, which is kind of surprising for sure. Another Donzard with the Wellspring in there, and then. Another Zoroark here. Yeah, once again on the Toadcruel. I don't think we'll be seeing any Darmanitan Zoroark here, unfortunately. Another Donzard's got the Wellspring in there. Another Grimmsnarl. Another Guardy. The Mega Downstage. Yeah, Turbo Guardy with the Watchtower in there. And then another Grimmsnarl. Anything crazy there? It's got the Punk Helmet again. Honestly, Punk Helmet might be worth trying out. Does it help against Dengo enough? Because it makes sense. Puts 40 damage on there. You go Dengo and they attack into you. Another Dengo... Another Donzard here with the Psyduck in there. Another Dengo Rocks with Lopunny. Another Mega Box here with double Watchtower. Poltnor. And we got a couple more Poltzards. Let's go. Let's get the Watchtower, the Unfair Stamp, and then we got another Pulsar with Secret Box. Okay, I don't hate it. It's pretty good consistency for this deck. That's one thing with Pulsar. It's sometimes a little bricky and inconsistent. So Secret Box does help a little bit. Makes sense. Poltnor and Guardy Jelly here. And we got another Zoroark. Once again, on the Toadstool and Lopunny. I don't think we're going to see any other Zoroark builds in this tournament, unfortunately. We got another Slowzard here with the Toadcruel, which I don't mind that. I like it. I think Toadcruel is pretty good. Did play more heavy on the Dawn engine instead of the Arven, though, which is interesting for sure. Another Guardy Jelly. And we got another Gardevoir here. The Screamtail Luxcape. And then we got another Flareon. Flareon wasn't bad this weekend, for sure. Another Dusknoir Charizard deck. All right, a couple more decks, and we'll just kind of scroll through the rest because there are a lot of decks to look at. We got all these Guardies. We'll stop here at the Sarah Ledge. Okay, cool stuff. All right, now I'll just kind of scroll down and see if anything pops up because I'm sure you don't want to see me just sit here and click on the same Polnor and Gardevoir list over and over again. We do have another Alakazam here making day 2 with the Dunsparce in there. 3 Battle Cage, no Togeous, nothing too crazy, no Golduck, just playing the Psyduck, the Shaman, and the Fan Rotoms and stuff. Let's check this Donzard. See if there's any, like, I'm curious to see how much Wellspring was played, right, in the Donzards. Another Alakazam in day 2, the Shaman and the Psyduck package in there. Grimmsnarl with Moltres with triple Luminous Energy. That's the other way Grimmsnarl can tech for Goldengo, right? You can play the Moltres, so you can hit for weakness. When you have Monkey Dory Frostlass damage, you can technically Moltres one-shot a Goldengo without a damage modifier. Another Charizard, Dusknoir deck with the Moltres Chiyu. We got another Donzard. Let's see. Let's take a look at the Donzards here. I'm just curious to see how much Wellspring there was. Another Alakazam in day 2. Look at that. And what else? Another Charizard Pidgeot with Megazard. Ooh, this is a Megazard deck. Okay, I don't hate it. Megazard's cool. It's a lot better than the Mega Evolution decks, I think. And then, honestly, they were doing pretty good. More Donzard. Another Donzard here. Cool stuff. What else we got? More Donzards, the Pidgeotto. And there's one Greninja in day 2. I did predict this deck could have a good run this tournament, and sadly it didn't. I still think Greninja's honestly not a bad deck, though. I actually don't think this deck is still all that bad in this format. I'm surprised it didn't do as well this tournament. I actually thought somebody was going to have a good run with this deck. I did predict it. I put it on my bingo card. Sadly, it didn't happen. I wanted it to. Yeah, another Zoroark or Toedscool. Click on all the Zoroarks, too. I'm curious to see if anybody played a different build of Zoroark that wasn't on the Toadschools and stuff. Got another Bolt here. It's an Owless Bolt. There's another Turbo Bolt deck with Unfair Stamp, actually, as the ace back, so that's interesting. And the Kangboof with the double Crustle. See if any Joltik Kangaskhan's made day 2. Because I know some of the people that are pioneering that deck were in the tournament, so I'm curious to see if that made day 2. We had a Conkeldurr during day 2. Awesome stuff. We had one Lopunny Ghost in day 2. Underperformance by this deck is interesting. Like, I think this deck is honestly still decent in this meta. It did underperform, though. So is the Lopunny Dusknoir deck real? Maybe. Maybe not enough people put time into it. Maybe just, like, focus more on the big 4. I don't know. Surprised to see the deck underperform. I think this deck's honestly still decent. Another Charizard Pidgeot deck with the double Battle Cage, no Monkey. Did have Stamp and Moltres and Chiyu, so that might have been the wave for this tournament, folks. Another Joltik box making day 2 with the Psyduck in there to help against the Dusknoir decks. Another Flareon here with the Pidgeot and stuff. Another Sarah Ledge. And we had a Mega Venusaur in day 2. The classic Mega Venusaur. The one deck that can always make a day 2. Like, it's cool. Again, this deck might get better with rotation. It might get better with Mega Meganium. We'll have to wait and see. It has the potential to pop off at some point in the future. Another Dusknoir Charizard here. Let's see. Dengo Rocks. Another Joltik box here. The Magneton. See, we had a Mega Box in day 2 again. Nothing too crazy. What a Devo. Washtower and Snowy Mountain. Kind of played all the tech stadiums, actually. It's cool. Another Crustle in day 2 with the... Okay, this one did have the monkeys and the Golduck. The Sudowoodo. What else we got here? Another Zoroark. Yep, it's another Toedscruel build. Not surprised to see that. I don't know. I don't think we'll see another build of Zoroark in the day 2. Another Sarah Legend day 2. A lot more Sarah Legend day 2 than I think in Stuttgart. Makes sense with all the Dengo, right? Yeah, another Zoroark with Toads. What else we got here? Another Charizard Pidgeot deck with the Dragapult package. Okay, this is interesting. This is a really cool deck. It's like Pulsar, but you also play Pidgeot. I don't hate it. Like, you even get the Dracloak and the Dragapult, so you have more lines with this deck. And it's got Monkey in there, so you still kind of play like a Slowzar deck, because you have Unfair Stand Monkey and stuff. That's cool, actually. That was a really cool deck. Really cool stuff. And I got another Pulsar here. Obviously, no Pidgeot. Another Sarah Ledge. Another Zoroark. The double Toedscruel. Another Alakazam making day 2. This one had a Blood Moon or Saluna in the deck. Alright, what else? Another Bolt. It was Owl Bolt, though. I got another Joltik box here in day 2 with the Genesect in there. Cool stuff. Another Kangboof. Shaman. I like Shaman in the deck. I would have probably played it, too, if I played the deck. Another Dusknoir Charizard. Another Zoroark. Yeah, on the Toedscruel. Then we had another Greninja in day 2. Cool stuff, cool stuff. I wanted the deck to do better, man. This is a sick deck. It's a cool deck. What about this Zoroark? Yeah, also playing Toedscruel. 2 Toedscruel, 2 Lopunny. Another Alakazam. Look at that. Who knows? Maybe Alakazam will actually be good in rotation. That could actually be out, especially with the lack of hand disruption. It might be time for Alakazam to shine. Yo, we had an Absol Toxtricity Toolbox deck making day 2. That's cool to see. I like it. It's a cool deck to see in day 2. I like it. Another Control making day 2 here. That's cool. Like Crustle Thorns in day 2. Yo, diabolical deck. Definitely a pretty good like anti-meta lock deck, right? Thorns is really good against Dengo and Charizard and stuff. Crustle good against a lot of other decks. We have another Slowzard making day 2 with the Max Belt, the Teuton, the Tool Scrapper. Cool stuff. What else? Anything else too crazy? Another Sarah Ledge with the Drober. Another Charizard Dragapult Pidgeot deck. Cool deck. I want to try that, actually. That's pretty cool. Maybe I'll play it in the future. Got another Zoroark with the Toads. Another Garchomp making day 2. This one did not play Toedscruel, though. And we had 2 more Zoroarks. The Toads. I definitely will see a lot more Zoroark going forward. Oh, okay. This one's a bit different. This one had Gengar and Mega Absol. So it's a bit more in the poison package stuff. Petron, Absol, Gengar in there. Cool stuff. That's actually Mega Gengar's first Limitless page. I talked about that. I think it was in the Stuttgart video where I talked about all the Phantasmal Flames Megas made day 2 except for Gengar. Well, somebody finally gave Gengar their day 2 Limitless page. Cool stuff. Another Alakazam. Someone's got the 1-1 Tinkaton in there. All right, another Zoroark. Dango Typhlosion in day 2. Cool. We did see this deck day 2 in Stuttgart. Top 64 in Stuttgart, actually. So cool to see it have another run. Another Festival Leader. This one was the Sea King Mega Lopunny build. Look at that. Another Bolt. Another Garchomp in here with the 2-1 Toads. Another Joltik box. And the Kangboof with the Crustle in there. I haven't seen the Joltik Kang yet. Zoroark here with the Toedscruels. We got one Blood Moon Monkey Dory deck making day 2. I mean, this deck wasn't even bad for this tournament. There's a lot of Goldengo. This deck farms Goldengo. Thorns Crustle also in day 2 here. Look at that. Man, people are playing that. It's crazy. Sarah Ledge doing good. Another Festival Lead in day 2. This is like the first time we've seen multiple Festival Lead in day 2. That's honestly crazy. The deck's starting to become like a real thing. We got another Donzar with the Wellspring. What else? The Charizard, yeah, it was another Charizard Pidgeot deck with Hero's Cape, Rabska, Golduck. So a lot more stage 1s. I don't hate it. Let's see, another Charizard Dusknoir Pidgeot deck. Yep. What else do we got? Another Flareon making day 2. We're almost done here. Almost done. Let's check this Charizard Pidgeot. It was another Charizard Pidgeot Dragapult deck. Okay. Did this come from somewhere? This had to have come from somewhere, right? Because this is like the same list we've seen. And they're not on the same Limitless page. That's an interesting idea. Another Django making day 2. Look at that with the Trolley Ace spec. Another Sarah Ledge here. What else we got? Grim, the Maractus. Cool. And then we got more Garjelly. And that was it. Yeah, that was the entirety of Toronto day 2. The big takeaways. Polnor had a banger of a tournament. Polnor dominated Toronto. Gardejelly winning, nobody's surprised there. Goldengo kind of flopped a little bit outside of making top 8. Like, make top 8 and then you scroll all the way down. It's like barely in the top 64. So that's crazy to see. So Dengo definitely didn't have the best day 2 performance. Had a good day 1. It was the most popular deck. Yeah, Polnor is like the big highlight of this tournament. I mean, holy crap, there was so much Polnor. Actually insane how much Polnor there was that did well. Polnor had an insane run this tournament. Gardejelly still won. Makes sense. Kind of the makes sense thing. We saw Jesse with the cool Miraidon deck. A lot of Zoroark doing well with the Toedscruel and stuff. So, we'll just see where the meta heads. We got Birmingham and Merida next week. So we got 2 more majors in this format. So, interested to see how the meta develops from here. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll catch you on another day 2 video next week. Another video on the second channel. I'll probably do a rotation video soon, so stay tuned for that. I'll leave a link to the list down below if you want to check the decks for yourself, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.